People think the Zionist state is going to last forever, or they think that it will transition one day into the times of the Messiah, the redemption of the Jewish nation. If you ask a secular Jew what he thinks, he probably thinks it's going to last forever. And if you ask a religious Jew, he would tell you that, if he's really religious, he would tell you that Zionism is obviously not a good thing, in the sense that the Zionists were not righteous people, and the way the government is done today, the way the state is managed and being taken care of today is not good. But we are waiting for the Messiah, and this Zionist state is a stepping stone on the way for Messiah. Now, this is far from the truth. And why is that? Because if you learn the Torah, you will see that every place you look at, when you learn the Torah, there's a common thread. There's something that is, you can't ignore it. Everywhere in the Torah, in so many different places, whether it's the written tradition or the oral tradition, the common thread is that not only you're not allowed to do evil, but you shouldn't even connect with evil people, and that evil does not exist forever. I'll give you an example. It says in the oral tradition, in Mishnah, Tractate Avot, it says, Nitai Arbeli Omer, he's one of our sages, Nitai Arbeli, says, Archek mishachen ra, ve'al titchaber larasha, ve'al tityesh min hapuranut. It means, first of all, move away from a bad neighbor, because when he will be affected by his deeds, he will be punished for his deeds, you will suffer as well if you are his neighbor. And it says, don't connect yourself with an evil person. And al tityesh min hapuranut means don't give up on their punishment. What is the punishment? So don't think that because the evil person succeeds, it means that he's not going to get punished. Because the thing about this world is that evil has its place and has its time. People can do evil things because God created the world in a way that you have free will, free choice to do whatever you want. If God would say, yeah, there's free will, but the free will can't be exercised by people, then it's not really free will. So in order for that to be in actuality free will, he allowed people to actually do evil things. But when you do evil things, you must know you will pay the price, and God will punish you for your evil deeds. So some people think mistakenly that because an evil person succeeds, that means that maybe God forgot about him, doesn't really care, maybe he is a good person. It's very misleading sometimes for people who try to understand why evil people have success. So the Mishnah tells us, Al tityesh min hapuranut, don't give up on their punishment, it will come. Even if it takes years, but it will come. So the Zionist movement is obviously evil, because their whole agenda is to destroy Judaism as we know it. Instead of us being God's nation, the nation of God, that is connected to God and does not move even one step on a national level without God's permission and approval, they turned us into a nation like all nations, a nation that is supposed to just live in this world and do whatever other nation does. And they basically took out the essence of the Jewish nation. Even if there are Jews who are learning Torah in Eretz Yisrael and are davening and are keeping the mitzvos, but they took out the essence of the Jewish nation. And interestingly, when I say that the Jewish, what they call the Jewish state, it's not a Jewish state, when the Zionist state is going to be destroyed. You see in Mishnah and Avot, it says, כל כנסייה שהיא לשם שמיים סופה להתקיים, וכל כנסייה שאינה לשם שמיים אין סופה להתקיים. What this means is that a knesiyah, which is a gathering of people, every gathering of people, like when they have a certain agenda, when they gather together to do something, so the power of the masses, every gathering, if it's a gathering for God, it will have a long-lasting future, and it will last, it will sustain itself. But if the gathering is not L'Shem Shamayim, which meaning it's not for God's sake, it will end up not existing in the future. It's going to be dismantled someday. Interestingly, in Avot de Rabbi Natan, it gives us examples. Knesiyah L'Shem Shamayim, a gathering that is for God, the example that they give is Anshe Knesset HaGdolah. Now, for those of you who don't know, Anshe Knesset HaGdolah were 120 sages that lived in the time of between the first and second temple and the beginning of the second temple, and they're the ones who gave us the davening, the prayers that we pray today. And they gathered together to make all these additions, or not really additions, but to give the structure of Judaism as we know today. For example, when it comes to prayers, those ones Knesset HaGdolah, there were people who were prophets among them, like Chagai, Zechariah, Malachi. And then the Avot de Rabbi Natan says, what's Knesiyah she'ena L'Shem Shamayim? Give us an example of a gathering that is not for God's sake. It says Dor HaPalaga. What is Dor HaPalaga? The people who built the Tower of Babylon. Now, it's funny that if you go to the Zionist State, it's ran by the government, which has 120 members of the Knesset. Now, do you think this is by chance? No, it's not. Why are there 120 members of the Knesset? The answer is because they think that they are the new Knesset, the new Anshe Knesset HaGdolah. They are the continuation of Anshe Knesset HaGdolah, those 120 sages that we had that made all these rules and regulations when it came to prayers, for example. So they see themselves, these Zionist people, they see themselves as the continuation. That's why they numbered the members of the Knesset. That's why they call it the Knesset, and that's why they numbered it with 120 members of the Knesset. I'm not even going to go into how ridiculous this is, because, I mean, in those 120 members of Knesset, most of them are not even religious. Some of them are not even Jewish. But this is common with Zionism, that they take Jewish symbols and they convert it to their needs. So funny that they think that they're like Anshe Knesset HaGdolah. But in reality, we know that the Knesset is anything but a Knesiyah L'Shem Shamayim. Nothing in the Knesset is L'Shem Shamayim. Everything in the Knesset is politics. And everything has to do with fighting with each other. They have miflagot in the Knesset. What is miflagot? Miflagot is like Dor HaPalaga, separation. A party is groups. So the Knesset is made out of different parties, and they all go and fight with each other for money, for control, for power. That is exactly a Knesiyah she'ena L'Shem Shamayim, like the people, Dor HaPalaga, the generation of separation that was trying to build the Tower of Babylon just for the sake of going against God. So their unity was for the sake of going against God, but nothing else. That's why they were destroyed. The tower was destroyed. The people were dispersed all over the place. So if you think that the Zionist state is any different, you're wrong, my friend. And you should know that the Zionist state is going to be destroyed and the people are going to be dispersed because it's Knessia She'ena L'Shem Shamayim. And in future videos I'm going to show you more proof to that. But let me know in the comments if you think that the Zionist state has any future, and if yes, why?